The views and opinions expressed in the Golden Boot podcast are those of the speaker and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of the Golden Boot podcast as a whole.
Y'all ready to get rolling? Quiet on the set. Hey, welcome back to another episode of HBCU Hour. It's your boy Pooh Bell. Got my man Ant Petty Murphy in the building. It's good with you, my boy.
What's happening, man? Trying not to wake my son up. He sleep like right there.
Gotcha. I'll try not to be too loud.
Oh no, he can't hear you. But
oh man, I'm sitting here watching Summer League basketball. Got me thinking, man. Chris Bankston, Norfolk State.
Yeah. Timberwolves.
It's funny because it's not often when you do a players comp. It's a players comp with a person on that team.
Okay, talk to me.
His style reminds me of a player with the Timberwolves who just got a big payday. Who, if I'm not mistaken, he went undrafted too.
Rudy Gobert?
No, I'm talking about
he went undrafted.
I'm talking about somebody who actually has multiple skill sets in their bag. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Our man from LSU, Nas Reed, man.
Oh yeah, okay. I can see the comparison.
Chris Bankston, man, and if you look at it, man, in the paint, killer. It's
6'8", 6'9", kind of undersized, but can kind of stretch out a little bit. Could be a small ball 5. I can see the comparison. Good rebounder, even though they kind of undersized. I can see the comparison.
Very athletic, and he got major tools in his bag, man. I hope, man, he does, gets a chance, does well. But man, I definitely, man, wish him the best of luck. It's something that I forgot to mention last week. But yeah, that was definitely. I think Chris Bankston is a real good fit for Timberwolves, man. But we ain't gonna talk too much basketball, man. We gotta talk football, man, and we got some special guests in the building.
Yes, sir.
We got North Carolina A&T. We got Hampton. It's a CAA showdown in this thing. What they call the Colonial Athletic Association. I just want to get them riled up backstage, man. You know how
they can, instead of going at each other, they're gonna come at you, Pooh.
Yeah, I'm gonna log off. I'm gonna turn my camera off. Walk away. But nah, man,
they finna tag team on some CAA.
Yeah, some CAA.
CAA confederation.
Let our powers combine. But nah, man, it's gonna be a good one, man. We almost finished up the MEAC. We gotta get Norfolk State. We know what I'm saying. We take care of the CAA. We'll talk Tennessee State and start in the SWAC on Thursday. I'm looking forward to it. But before we do anything, man, we know we gotta give a shout out to our sponsors over at BetOnline. BetOnline.ag. We'll be back in 1 minute. BetOnline.ag is your number one source for all your sports information, stats, news, and scores. Get the latest odds, lines, and player injury reports for this year's NBA and NHL playoffs. BetOnline is always your sports information headquarters. This season, we have you covered for all your sports wagering needs. We have everything from NBA, NFL, MLB, and NHL to golf, tennis, UFC, and boxing. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to get your betting info, including live betting options and your favorite casino and card games that you can play right from your home. Head on over to betonline.ag today or use your mobile device to get in on the action. Be sure to use the promo code BLEAV to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet online, where the game starts. Ooh, we had to bring our man, baby. We talking North Carolina A&T. We had to bring him back. Dave, co-host of Panther Nation podcast, co-host of HBCU Nightly. Welcome back, Dave. And we thought we was gonna get both our guys, man, but we ended up with Jeff Hampton Knight Johnson joining us from the HU Pirateship. Fellas, thank y'all for joining us. Welcome back to HBCU Hour. How y'all been?
Man, we great over here, brother.
Absolutely. We're doing great. Can't complain at all.
Glad y'all here. Now, I was just playing with somebody being messy. And you already know.
Markham, don't worry, man. We have Markham, brother. We have a seat for you. Just let us know when you're ready. We'll vote you in. You're already playing half of a CAA schedule as it is. Just let me know when you're ready, my brother, from Morgan State to join us.
Hey, trust me, they want y'all too. I promise you.
They do.
They do. They definitely want Howard.
No, I can see the comments too, bro. I know he's ready. Look, man.
I don't know what you did.
I'm gonna start pulling up the archives of Morgan State's history in the 80s and 90s. You don't want to go through that. He got one MEAC. He got one MEAC football title in a decade, man. He out here want to go through that. But I will give him credit. He's got a more recent MEAC joint title than Florida A&M, so I got to give him some credit from that regard. But other than that, you really need to have a seat. Like, you got to sit down, chill out. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, man.
Relax, calm it down just a tad. You know what I'm saying?
All right, we're gonna leave Banks in the MEAC, and we're gonna focus on the CAA tonight.
Oh man, hey Jeff, man, how it's been, man? We, last time we talked, it was pre-spring, if I'm not mistaken.
It's been pretty good. Hampton's going through a lot of change. We got a new athletic director. I think we're bringing in about another 15 more personnel to the department. So it's everything. I mean, it's a slow build, but you can kind of see the wheels already turning. It hasn't been out for the public as of yet, though. But we're good.
If I'm not mistaken, it looks like a lot of HBCUs who weren't necessarily athletically participating. They would field teams, but they weren't as enthused or emphasized. Thank you. They weren't emphasizing, athletics. It seems like a lot of them are starting to turn, that corner and like, you know what? Let's put some money towards that football team or the baseball team or the basketball team. So we're starting to see that a lot more now.
Oh, absolutely. I think in our case, and a lot of our cases, especially A&T, we're seeing enrollment increases. Hampton's freshman enrollment increased by 39% just this year alone. So you definitely have to increase, these programs. So it is a part of that.
Was that pre-civil Supreme Court? You know what? Hold that. We'll get to We'll talk about that later.
We're gonna talk
that
about
could be an hour in itself, and you guys know that.
We need to be building, you know what I mean? That's a whole different conversation. But Dave, let me ask you, how has the move to the CAA been for A&T? How y'all? I know we know what it was like on the field and on the court, but behind the scenes, as far as the budget and things of that nature, how has the move been for y'all so far?
I think so far so good. I think we're where we want to be right now. I think initially, because of how fast we jumped into the conference, there was a different type of expectation. I think everybody knew that this first year was going to be rough, and there was areas where I think they've exceeded expectations from that regard. I think they've done a pretty good job still being able to recruit at a high level from that regard as well. We've had a lot of coaching changes, but I've loved every single coaching hire that they've had behind the scenes. I think the AD's done a phenomenal job with the hires that he's had. Even with people that didn't agree with Sam Washington being let go, I thought he knocked it out of the park with Brown. When they got rid of the coach right prior to the basketball season, I think they knocked it out the park with Monty Ross when they brought him in for basketball. We just got a new softball coach. Everybody loves that. So, like, I think overall, the teams have done well. Behind the scenes have done a pretty good job hiring people. When we lost the track coach, when Dwayne Ross decided to go to Tennessee, which I don't blame him. We ended up getting a guy from North Carolina State who also coached in the Olympics as well. So I think overall, there's some phases of rebuilding, but overall, I think we've done a pretty good job in that regard.
Dave, y'all catching all kind of strays from people. Blue, it said,
look, man, look, when you're the largest HBCU in the country, bro, those are the strays you should get. But I'm gonna go ahead and light up Campbell attack because I'm not a fan of that new Campbell. I'm gonna keep it a buck with y'all. I'm not a fan of that new Campbell.
Hold on, they got a new mascot.
They changed the camel up.
What? I need to check this out.
Camel's up out and about now. You know what I'm saying? I ain't
it.
That logo and looking. I'm gonna keep it a buck with y'all.
Man, so you saying the Camel got a BBL?
Like your coach.
Stop.
The coach was the football coach, the best Panther we've ever had. Best safety the Panthers ever had. I like your coach. But it ends there.
But how long is that coach going to stay there, though, man? I thought
as long as he wants to be there.
I thought
as long as he wants to be there.
Yeah.
He can recruit his behind off. There's no question about that.
But is it working though? Can he coach him up?
No. But the thing is, man, the thing you got to understand, Mike Minter, and I got to interview him for PNP for Panther Nation podcast for our Legend series. The thing about Mike Minter is he's a legend down there.
Wow. Yeah.
So as long as Campbell wants him there, he'll be there.
Wow, makes sense.
My bad. Brian Turner says he thinks A&T will be an interesting add to the conference like the CAA. And which one you had? I'm sorry. Yeah, ODB says Campbell is just trying to deflect from the underperforming on the football field.
I mean,
you can
make that argument.
I know not.
You could argument.
You
but
could
they ain't underperforming in some of these other sports. I can tell you that.
Oh no,
that's fair.
No, that's very fair.
Baseball,
the track team is legit. The baseball team's legit. The baseball team is ranked this year.
Yeah.
They're not under there. They're gonna, and like folks don't realize the CAA conference in baseball was 7th. Like only the Power 5 and the Sun Belt was ahead of them.
Yeah.
So and now you add Campbell.
You're talking Richmond. You're talking Richmond and teams like that who traditionally good in baseball year in and year out.
Yep. So they'll figure out football, man. They keep recruiting like they recruiting. They'll figure it out at some point.
Yeah,
it's not this year though, because we playing. They're in our little pod, so we got to keep beating them up. So
all right, Jeff. So when we talk, like I said, we talk pre-spring. I think I reached out to y'all. I was like, hey, what's going on in spring? It was like we not sure yet. And y'all had a spring game in shorts.
Oh.
Tell me about it.
Oh, okay. So, all right. So let's keep it $150. We are trying to keep players healthy, and
I mean, I figured that, but
yeah. We just got to be honest. We're a bare bones program right now. We're still trying to build. And we lost our best players, Jadakiss Bonds. He's at the Green Bay Packers. And then we lost Keyshawn Moore, who is in the CFL. And so then we literally lost Devontae Davis, Trent Cloud, Ali Shockley, who went to the Commanders. We lost 3. These were the nucleus of our defense and I would say our biggest proponents on offense. So now we're replacing them with guys like Kamari Gray, who was a good 2-star coming out of Phoebus. And then we got a few other players. We got a good running back with Darren Butts, and we got Elijah Burris, the kid out of North Carolina, which A&T really wanted but couldn't get. And UNC UNC had him, but he ended up coming to Hampton. But I would say that Prunty is what he's doing basically is we have, I would say, on paper, the biggest offensive line in the CAA. And that has been that's our calling card right now, bell cows. So he's just been recruiting running backs all day. So running backs and big old blocking tight ends. So our class was full of 6'7", 290-pound blocking tight ends. So we're going to be running the ball. And another thing is we still haven't found a quarterback. You know, we've had Malcolm Mays, Sophia Massoud, and Chris Zealous. Now, these three quarterbacks, if you give me Chris Zealous' feet along with Malcolm Mays, I would say arm, and Sophia Massoud's kind of agility, then we would be talking about something. But we literally are playing mix and match with three quarterbacks. So, oh boy. So we're just hoping that, that some of these kids that we got in the portal are gonna, help us out. So, I mean, I will say this. I don't see us being like last year, but I think that what he's trying to do is just being a bully ball program. And that's where we are. So that spring game, and plus, hey, it was raining too. It was raining. So we weren't really going to, he ain't trying to get no players hurt. So, and we getting new turf anyway. That turf's kind of old. So it was either those.
So what's the feel, from the fan base, alumni? What's the feel going into the season? Like, what's the expectation for the team?
Well, just kind of a wait and see. It's like, I mean, I would be honest. It's like when Coach Prunty came in, it was in transition. We went from MEAC to Big South. And we, Dr. Harvey, honestly, was kind of on his last legs with the university. He just he went over to Eugene, the former athletic director, and just said, just do you, get who you want. So we got Prunty. Prunty came in transition. And that's when then COVID happened. So that was that. And then now he's recruiting his own class. And I would say it's kind of been a little bit lukewarm, but a lot of it is, transition. That's one. And I would say we got a new AD, and now they're starting to put resources behind them. So you just can't just pull the plug on a program when they really were handicapping him when he just got here. So I would say going into the season, it's not optimism, because I think his best season probably was 6-5. And so it's more so like, we'll see what he's doing. It's like, it's not excitement, but it's not like doom and gloom, because we got a new athletic director, and the athletic director's putting resources behind them. So we also got more coaches now. We got we'll have more strength and conditioning coaches, and we got a new nutritioning program coming online. So, these are the things that have handicapped this program for decades. So we're just now getting it. What a lot of CAA programs have been having for decades. So I wouldn't say it's optimism. It's just more like, we'll see.
And actually, Eric Curry comes in and said, with the new president and AD, or some of HU's coaches on notice?
Oh, all right. Well, okay. I was hoping to avoid this, but because I'll just say this. I do know the AD. He is a Hamptonian. So I would say they're not on notice, but they know that I haven't talked to him, so I cannot put it out there. Mm-hmm. But I would probably say they're giving them resources. And they're saying, with what I'm giving you, I need to see a bump or increase in either wins or performance. So now I would say this. In basketball, Coach Joyner been recruiting his butt off. We've been taking kids from Georgetown. So basketball's good. I think Prunty he's been getting kids. He got a 3-star out of New Jersey, and Burton, a D-back who was probably going to go to Rutgers or UVA. And he got another kid out of Southampton, Terrell Washington, who could have went to any school in Virginia. So he's using those resources and getting these kids. But the question is it too little, too late? So I would say that it wouldn't be nice if he came in and just started axing everybody, because I don't think, you got to at least give these people enough rope to hang themselves. And I just think he's giving them resources, and we'll see.
Gotcha. So Dave kind of patient over there. I appreciate Dave.
I'm a patient guy, man.
So let me I got me. Mike says, saying we haven't found a quarterback yet is like saying we have a nice 2023 Lexus without an engine. But then Kelly Flicks gives y'all a possible candidate. What about Jared Lewis? How about Jared Lewis?
Well, all right, let's keep it a buck about Jared Lewis. He came from Delaware State. They were not winning. You know, and he got benched too, right? I mean, okay, listen, I'm with Coach Prunty. I'm with him, but I don't know why he got that kid. I mean, but we've done that portal thing way too many times, and we've gotten guys like DeAndre Francois who swore his allegiance to the university and dipped after a year. Or, it's been many guys like that have come in before him that, I'd love to be here. I want to be here. And then you never see him again. So I do understand why he's going after quarterbacks that want to be here. But Jared Lewis, I mean, the tape on him, I mean, I don't think he's a CAA quarterback. If you couldn't hack it into MEAC, why would we want him? Maybe a position change. I don't know.
All right, I'm a switch it up with Dave. But Reek, hey Reek, glad you, stopped by.
And you coaches know they all need to start doing it upward.
Yeah. Look, I see. I didn't say that.
Look, I'm staying quiet. Look, listen. Y'all be slandering Flow Sports, but the one thing about Flow Sports, you get to see all them games, man. And I've called a couple of Hampton games. Let me tell you something. I know the ADs have tonight, but let me tell you something, bro. I don't know if this AD gonna be too patient with these guys. I think they're gonna be ready to get their own folks in.
I mean, hold on. I'm gonna just say this too. We've already been attacked, so I'm trying to stay peaceful, to be honest. So,
look, dude. I'm an Aggie, man. When you're the largest HBCU in the country, you get attacked every day. It's just part of the process.
Listen. I'm not. I wasn't intending to throw all the questions at Jeff first.
No, it's fine. I was getting all the jokes when the show started.
I love it. No worries.
Yeah. But Dave, man, I know we talk spring and stuff, kind of expectations, and how the team outlook. You got us all with the grainy video. So we understood that, you know what I'm saying, y'all got something special, you're trying to hide it. But now y'all do have. Go ahead.
They always continue to hide it. I just want you to know that. It's like Fort Knox down in Greensboro, bro. One benefit about being in the CAA is that y'all don't really cover us.
Very true.
Y'all don't cover us. So
you know what they say? You want to make black folks mad? Say y'all. Who is y'all? Who is included in y'all?
Yeah.
I was gonna say we'll cover y'all, but we got you on our show right now talking about North Carolina A&T.
You're right. And let me be clear. Look, the white folks don't like when you say y'all either. I do it at my job all the time. So. But either way, what you got for me, man?
Coach Brown, he was able to get a full spring under his belt. Quarterback competition. I know there was certain reasons that not all the quarterbacks participated, but I think y'all at one point felt like y'all had y'all man. Is that still the feeling, or is it kind of changed?
Yeah, I think in my opinion, it's a two-man race. Okay. Even at the spring game, they all played. I did get to talk to Eli after the spring game. And one thing he did say was, he didn't get as many reps because he was the main one rocking. Everybody else was kind of not so much because they were like, I think there was a video that came out on the Twitter handle on A&T NCAT football talking about academics. And Coach Brown is serious about academics, and he's serious about not letting folks play if they ain't got these things together, raise up the snuff when it comes to that. So there was a decent chunk of players who didn't get the reps. So a lot of the other quarterbacks got the reps during the spring game. But right now, I think Eli's in the lead, and I think Hooker has an outside shot to potentially have a shot to win the job. But I think it's Eli's job to lose at this point, in my opinion.
So you mentioned last year was your introduction to the CAA, and now that you kind of know what to expect.
For clarity, they didn't play CAA football. It was just all the other sports.
Yeah, but they play CAA football. I mean, come on, man, they play CAA football. But anyway, but like now that y'all kind of know what to expect being in the CAA, what's the expectation as the fan base and alumni for next season?
I expect the CAA, when the coaches vote on who gets ranked where, that A&T will be at the bottom 3, and the team is going to be furious, just like all the other teams in the CAA was furious when they saw they were at the bottom. And they're gonna outplay their weight, and I think they're gonna do better than a lot of folks give them credit. They're giving them credit for. I think a lot of the demise of A&T has been severely overstated pretty much for the past couple months. And I think this team is going to rise to the occasion. And I think the CAA is going to be prepared for, Vincent Brown, because he was the defensive coordinator for William & Mary. Mm-hmm. But all the non-conference folks aren't. I'm looking at you, North Carolina Central. I'm going to be clear when I say that. So I think we're going to do better. I mean, I think the expectation, a lot of folks expect us to win 7 games. That's probably the peak for next year, to be honest with you. And that's if a lot of things fall our way. It's going to be more of I could see more 4 to 5 wins. I mean, because it's a tough conference and we got a tough schedule. I'm not going to be crazy to think we don't have a tough schedule. We're playing I think 4 playoff teams from last year on our schedule. And then one that's going to improve in Rhode Island that did not make the playoffs. So it's not going to be an easy schedule at all. I'm going to keep it a buck. But I think I like what Vincent Brown is doing. He's able to get his packages in. I think the only big thing I think we need to fill is defensive tackle. But I think we got everything else to be competitive in that conference for this season. And I think we're going to be better than what they're going to rate us going into the season. So.
Okay. Brian Fulford, and I got another question that he has up top we're going to come back to, but he asked, what is the rate for Flow Sports these days? Because I know you mentioned about Flow Sports.
It's only like $100. It's like $90, $100 for the whole season.
Okay.
You can get a special rate. There's like a link for if you for CAA. You get a special rate. You get all the games. That ain't bad.
Gotcha. Yeah,
I couldn't complain, man. And the thing is, I like the SWAC and the MEAC. When it comes to basketball, they do double headers. The beauty of the CAA is that they play on separate days. So I pretty much have a game to watch 4 days a week, which is during the basketball season, which is awesome.
Yeah, MEAC says Flow Sports isn't bad, but I'm not trying to pay more for Flow than Stars Network. They need to cut the rate about $10 a month, and to about $10 a month, and I will be good.
It's less than that.
Yeah,
his yearly rate is $95 a year. It's less.
There
than
you go.
Yeah,
it's less than that. So it's not bad for what you get. You get to catch all the games. It's not bad.
Hey,
and with the new contract, we're required to have better quality. So we'll see how that goes. All right.
Bank says, 7 games. Where is President Reagan at? Just say no to drugs, Dave.
Bruh, just say no didn't work either, as you can see.
That big facts.
So nah, it doesn't work, So
I
were you even born when they had the commercials?
He probably.
I wanna go back to what you just mentioned, Dave. Y'all are required to have better production now as part of the Flow Sports. That's something me and Pooh have been talking about on this show for a while. And I guess the CAA is doing it, but like the MEAC and the SWAC and other HBCU conferences, to have something like Flow Sports, to where you have each school is responsible for its own production, and you have your mass comms, you have your students kind of be the productions for it in a sense, so they get real hands-on learning experience, and at the same time, you don't have to worry about who's going to broadcast your stuff. You broadcast it yourself. You know what I mean? Is that something that A&T and Hampton is that something that they were already looking to do as far as produce their own content in a sense, or is that just something that whenever you join the CAA, you just had to get with what the CAA had going on?
Well, now we had to do the production of that anyway. Like I know, we had to do the production of that anyway. A lot of the time, I know A&T will contract some of that work out, and sometimes it's the students as well.
Yeah,
but I will say, I went to a baseball game when I went to a doubleheader when A&T played Northeastern this season, and I went up to go check out like the camera work and like how they handle stuff up there. And one thing that was amazing to me is that the young lady that was rocking the camera was a student, but she was telling me, she was like, yeah, Northeastern has their own media department, and their job is to do all the recordings and do all this stuff. And when they need more help, then they'll contract it out. And they've got way more sports than what we have. Yeah. Right. Most HBCUs have. Right. Yeah. So I just thought that was fat. And they don't have football. Let me be clear. Like Northeastern doesn't have football. Is not a sport. They don't play football. But they got their budget is almost, I'm pretty sure they're like $10 million more than ours. For sure. Yeah. They don't have football. Yeah. So, it's just about investing the resources to do it.
Absolutely. And to interject, even before our AD came aboard, we were broadcasting games. Our athletic director was doing the broadcasting. It was really bare bones. And we had a university that has a Scripps Howard School of Journalism, they weren't even attached to the actual athletic events. That was the biggest issue there. And so it for a lot of us, we were really upset when it had to take the CAA and the Big South too to kind of come in and say, you guys need to kind of clean this up, before, if you're going to join our conference, it should have been handled beforehand. But I would say now is that we are starting to see a few things that are different, and especially on the social media handle, we're starting to see, Hampton improve there. But it shouldn't take the CAA or the Big South to come in here and to kind of open your eyes to these things, though.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
Yeah, Troy Lamont Coleman says students aren't reliable enough. We A&T use a service now. I don't know if I can agree.
Well,
I understand what he's saying.
I'm gonna let that man speak for his school. That's all I'm gonna say.
There you go. All right,
that's all I'm gonna say.
He's closer to Greensboro than I am, so I'm rolling with him.
Yeah, that's all I'm gonna say. I mean,
I
know for a fact they do contract a lot of that work out. I do know that.
I personally would like to give students the benefit of the doubt, but I'm not gonna tell somebody about their school. You know what I mean? Like
that's fair. That's fair. Ant Eric Curry said, "I want what Ant is drinking." LOL.
That's that good stuff right there.
Pineapple juice. Blue says, to be fair, as much shit as Swack and MEAC fans give folks sports, those same fans complain about ESPN nonstop and vouch for the exact same model for HBCU football. And that's we talked about that a lot, because if you would give and Dave and Jeff, what we've always said is, if you would give each school their own production equipment that they can, do, the students can run it, and then all you have to do is simulcast it through whatever production crew comes or whatever. Film it and put it on YouTube on your own channel. There you go. That would be good. So MEAC still fighting about that Flow Sport price. Hey,
it ain't $29, guys. I'm telling you, it's not. And by the way, I know Brian asked the question: is that for all the sports? Yes, it's for all the sports. I watch baseball. I watch men's basketball, women's basketball, volleyball. I watched it all year.
And it's good too, and it's captivating sports. Because it's captivating sports, especially in women's basketball. So
yeah, I'm gonna tell you something about CAA. Let me tell you something about women's basketball in the CAA. Any night, anybody can get it. Anybody can get it.
Very true.
The 11th seed won that tournament, man.
Thank you.
So Chuck bring up another point. ESPN laying a lot of people off. So what
they got to pay Pat McAfee.
Yeah,
we did
facts.
We did pay Pat McAfee, bro. When I saw that layoff sheet. When I saw that layoff sheet, I said, "Oh no, they got that bill for Pat McAfee was much larger than they anticipated."
My question is, what does that mean for the coverage of HBCU sports? You know what I mean? Because that 27 people on the the 27 people on that list.
Yeah.
That ain't all the 27 people. And yeah, Jay Walker might still be there, but is his production crew still there? You know what I mean? Are they finna be calling games from the house, and not being able to actually go to the venue? Like, what does that mean for how they cover HBCU athletics now?
Well, the one thing that I saw that was fascinating about Jay Walker, and I noticed it when I was watching the FCS playoffs last year, my man was out here breaking down all of FCS.
Mm-hmm.
Like when he wasn't doing HBCU sports,
Mm-hmm.
he was out here breaking down all of FCS. So I think they're gonna keep him around.
They got they got to. Well, A, he checks the diverse hire box. B, he's really good. So I mean, I think for Jay Walker, it's more of a, he has different tools that ESPN can utilize. So
that's true.
So and Coach B, it took me, Coach B, forgive me, it took me a minute to catch who it was. It's Coach B from ONG Strike Zone. He said if your school is teaching / training students in communications or broadcast journalism and the quality is bad, that is a red mark on your teaching.
That's a good point, but it could be also an issue of the resources of getting the right gear there.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So, I'm glad you said that. Our good man, Al B. Score, Jamie Walker, talked about it. He's seen production done with iPads at some of these schools, and he said, "Hey, you would look at it and you couldn't tell 4K." Nope. We got movies being shot in 4K with iPads and stuff now. So I get it, but I again get this equipment to each HBCU, and then you can simulcast from there. But I didn't beat that.
I mean, no, you're right. It's just that the gatekeepers at the gatekeepers at these HBCUs are still in their 60s, and they hear you. They hear you, and they like, who is this young dude want to talk to me like this?
Hey, you preaching right now, brother.
Because when we did it at Hampton, they was about to toss us off campus, me and Reek. So yeah, until there are guys like us in the office, it ain't gonna happen.
Yeah. That's true.
And the thing is, guys like us want to help. They just got to ask for it, and we're willing to come in and help.
Yeah.
It's but sometimes it's those type of situations. Like I know I'm going to be reaching out to the AD about a separate thing later within the next week or so, but something separate outside of athletics. But it's just you have to want to accept it. Yeah. I'm not saying RAD won't, but I can't.
You gotta want to change.
You gotta want to change, and I think A&T historically since Chancellor Martin has taken over in 2009, he hasn't had an issue with that. So I'm not too worried from that regard.
Yeah. Speaking of, like, when you talk about change and stuff, I want to shout out AD Dr. Paul Bryant at Alabama A&M, like what he's doing with like the task force and stuff. It's stuff like that we get in Twitter spaces and we talk about and say, hey, we need to do this to make help our schools get better. And we have these phenomenal ideas, and people who are connected or talk to a board member or talk to somebody else, and it's like, yeah, okay, we'll take it under consideration, and you never hear anything about it. And you have stuff like this where people are actually saying, hey, fans are saying this, what would it look like to get this done? But let's get back to Coach B. Says, what are the checks athletics looking like?
Nah, don't worry about it. We good over here. We ain't gonna tell you. We ain't gonna tell you. Trust me, we happy. You happy over there, Dave? You happy?
I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Don't tell him because
I'll tell him a little bit. I'll tell him a snag. So it's I know the deal's like over $10 million.
Yeah.
But most of that money ends up going back.
Yeah.
It goes back to get games on CBS Sports Network.
Yeah. Yeah.
Particularly for women's and men's basketball.
Yeah.
To get more coverage. So like A&T played the College of Charleston on national television last season.
Yeah.
Can't be mad.
So I guess it's safe to say.
But the thing is, Hampton, I'm sorry to cut you off, Ant.
No, you good.
No, you're fine.
I think Hampton's like calling card right now is men's and women's basketball. So when I would say just when we were in the Big South and we had a pseudo rival with God, what was the name of that school? Whatever that school was, it was a PWI, and they always pushed us together, and the games went down to the rival. That game garnered us, I can't even say the check, but both games at the Convocation Center garnered us some very good, I would say, viewership that you cannot write a check to, So it's this type of experience that we're getting at CAA and at the Big South that, people are, that we're happy about, because we haven't seen this before.
Reed chimed in, said
Radford, yeah. Oh, okay. And it's so interesting. Radford is a PWI, but that, I didn't know a lot of us went to that school, but they were trying to turn it into like some sort of Hampton, Norfolk State thing. We're like, no. You over there, we here. I mean, we did split the series with them in the 2 years we were in the Big South, but they were the conference marquee games. So, I think CAA is looking to pursue that, especially with us in Richmond and us with William and Mary, and especially A&T.
Let me ask you this. I think a lot of people kind of, I ain't gonna say clown, but for lack of a better word, kind of make fun of Hampton for going to the CAA and the lack of kind of success that they've had there. But as a Hamptonite, are you in a position where you look at it like, yeah, we might be struggling on the football field, but it's so rewarding financially and so lucrative in other ways for our athletic department that it's worth it to be in the CAA over the MEAC?
Well, I would say in two forms. Hampton is not going into the CAA to be anybody's whipping dog, So
that's understandable.
That's understandable.
No disrespect.
I don't know. I knew where you was coming from with that.
Yeah.
I think because I think for us, the CAA was always our goal ever since 1994. So, for us to get there, we like, all right, check that off. Yeah, now we got to build up to get there. And I think a lot of people didn't understand that Dr. Harvey been pushing this since 94, and he was, the man's in his 80s. So, he was tired. So it was like, I think he was waiting for the next generation to come in and build it. So he said, I got you here. Similar to when Mandela, freed South Africa. He said, I got y'all here. Now it's up to y'all to really build it. So I would say the second part is, when we brought in the new athletic Tony Henderson, he was at William and Mary, he was at Old Dominion, and then he went to Princeton, and so he already knows the model. So he's trying to build it in that sense so that Hampton could be competitive. It's going to take time because Hampton honestly did not give him any favors, decades. Because Dr. Harvey, I would say after 2008, when we had that 3-year run, kind of just went to sleep on the athletic program. And, you haven't heard from me. You hear from us in basketball, but that was kind of it. So I would just say from this point on, Hampton is building, and it's going to take a while.
Gotcha. But y'all are okay with that because y'all are where y'all want to be in a sense.
You know what? I don't think people are not okay, because I think when people see that those paltry fans in the stands, especially in football, it has this feeling that, oh, we don't care about it. No, trust me. Those chat lines, them text messages, those Facebook posts, they go about, I would say 150, 200 comments deep. So people are watching. I just think that, the cronyism in Hampton has been so bad for the past 10 years that, people got sick of it and just like, we're waiting for the next guy to come in who's really not a part of that old Harvey regime. And so people are definitely sick of it. Trust me, when A.D. Henderson came in, people in Hampton were like, all right, they were calling this the Joyner Farewell Tour, the basketball coach, the David Six Farewell Tour, the Robert Prunty Farewell Tour. All the coaches, they were like, we about to see y'all in a year. And so now some coaches have took it to heart, like Coach Joyner. You know, he recruited his butt off, and we taking kids from Georgetown. We took a kid from Georgia Tech. So he's getting the kids in. But then you got David Six, who only got in 7 recruits. You know, you can't even field a full team. So, you know, some coaches are like, all right, whatever. I won in the MEAC. You know, I could do it here. And it's not working. So, you know, Hampton fans wanted the axe immediately. And honestly, only one coach has failed. Now soccer, and he was like 5-38. You know, he had to go.
Wow.
So
yeah, he gotta go.
I mean, we were getting blown out in soccer. Like, you cannot be losing to Division II programs 10-2. You know, you know, and so, and it's not only embarrassing, it's beyond whatever the word behind embarrassing, abominable, whatever. That's what it was.
Wait. You said y'all were losing to Division II schools in soccer at what was the scores?
Like 10-2, 10-2. Like me and Reek, and it got so bad that they weren't even broadcasting the soccer games anymore.
I wouldn't either.
So I mean,
you don't want them to.
You don't want them to. It was embarrassing. But you got to understand, the soccer program was built kind of as a publicity stunt. You know, and this was back in 2017, 2016. So it's like they didn't throw any resources. They just said, we got a soccer team. Just like Tennessee State say, we got a hockey team. So I think
but they now in the Tennessee State's defense, they're gonna get some backing from the NHL. So I think they're gonna actually get a team.
The Predators is the Predators.
They're gonna get a team.
They're like, especially when you look at who the Predators.
I don't want to slander Tennessee State too much. I don't think they're gonna be as good as what people think they're gonna be this year. But
the Predators done had PK Subban and people like that on their squad, so they know that this is their perfect opportunity to ingratiate themselves within that community even more. So they definitely gonna throw some resources behind that.
And I guarantee you, everybody, the way everybody reacted to the announcement is gonna get a lot of support, despite what the record is.
All I'm
that's
gonna say
be
is
lit, though, bro. The HBCU band at a hockey game, that's gonna be
lit.
All I'm gonna say is this: if you've never been, let me tell you something. If you've never been to a hockey game live, been to a hockey. It's different, guys. It's different. I understand. Like, I understand hockey ain't most of the black folks' lane. I get it. I understand that. I get it.
Go to it.
Go to a game live. It's different,
it's different.
y'all.
Absolutely,
it's different.
I give you that.
Absolutely.
And just imagine it with a band in there, bro.
Oh my God! I'm about to take a trip to Nashville, bro.
Hold on.
I'm about to take a trip to Nashville.
My question is,
that's gonna be lit, dog.
They throwing resources in the hockey, but they can't fix that stadium they got. So
hold up.
I said it. I said it.
Hell needs.
Hold on. Let me do this.
Views and opinions expressed in the Golden Boot podcast are those of the speaker and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of the Golden Boot podcast as a whole.
Call hell the whole.
Look, Brian really wants to know this deal. All right, I'll tell you, man. It's an 8-figure deal. We don't know the exact numbers, but we know it's an 8-figure deal for that CAA full sports deal. So let's say it's $10 million. It's a 4-year deal, so $2.5 million per year, split between. First year is probably gonna be 14 schools. This year is gonna be 15. The beauty of it, but the catch is that money goes to pay for the games for CBS Sports Network. But the beauty of it is that the schools keep their linear TV rights. So they can still get their own separate contract, get their games shown on local television, and make their money off that way. So they don't lose those rights. You don't get that type of deal necessarily with ESPN, depending on how your deal's written up.
So they just doubling up pretty much.
If you do it, but like I can't speak for Hampton, but I know A&T right now does not have a local TV deal. And I've been pounding the table about that.
Hampton's local TV deals is mainly like through if we're playing close rivals like ODU, Norfolk State, Richmond, William and Mary. So
So Dave, Reek trying to take it back to football, thankfully. So he said A&T football we fine on the outside, but the trenches will be a problem, especially as injuries pile up. What's your take on that?
I'm not worried about the offensive line. But I will somewhat agree on the defensive side.
Okay.
I will agree on the defensive side. I'm worried about depth when we're young there, but offensive line, I'm not worried at all. I think we got enough for the offensive line. I'm not concerned.
Jeff, let me ask you this:
Go ahead.
As somebody who's been in the MEAC and in the CAA, we always kind of give the MEAC credit for their line play and their trench play, and especially when you compare it to the SWAC. But compare the MEAC to the CAA in terms of trench play.
Hey, I'm gonna just say it like this, because traveling with the program and going to when we played William and Mary at William and Mary. Now, this is the interesting part. William and Mary's line, they come to the line, the left tackle and right tackle, both 6'7", both 6'7". Guard, left guard, right guard, 6'6". Center, 6'4". But they were not big. They were not bellies everywhere. Kind of sloppy looking. They were built. They were lean, and that was the thing. And then you looked at our line this is when we was in the MEAC. Our left tackle, 6'8", 360 pounds. Right tackle, 6'3", 320 pounds. Center, 6'1", 275 pounds. And both our guards were like 6 feet, 6'1", 6'2". So you can see, it wasn't even. And then when we looked at William and Mary, I actually got a chance to tour Jimmy Laycock facility. That's where they have housed their just mainly football conditioning. I went in there. They have a whole nutrition cafeteria for them. So those linemen are getting fed a full diet. Whereas the HBCU, Hampton at the time, our kids weren't even getting 3 meals a day. They were getting 2, and they couldn't even, I don't even think they were conditioning our guys anywhere near what William and Mary has had. So, easily it is, you would see that the bodies of these CAA guys are leaner, they're stronger, and I would say they're just as physical as a MEAC, but you can tell just muscle tone is just totally
conditioning is different.
Conditioning.
All I know is this: A&T played North Dakota State last year, and
they got 2 dudes. They got one dude who got drafted, and they got another one who's supposed to be drafted. North Dakota State.
Yeah, well, one of them, and one's an undrafted free agent that plays for the Panthers right now.
Yeah.
So one thing I will say, we were able to run on North Dakota State's defensive line. That's why I'm not as concerned on the offensive side of the ball, but I know it's the defensive line I'm worried about. And and odds are pretty high that we're not going to play a 4-3 set. We're probably going to play more of a 3-4, Ben, because that's what Vincent Brown plays. That's what Vincent Brown coaches.
Do you have the roster for that though, or is it going to be kind of fitting a few square pegs and some round holes until he can get his guys in there?
Well, Vincent Brown did say that he had no problem converting if he needed to convert. He didn't feel like he had the right personnel to do what he needed to do.
He's not gonna run a 3-4 just to run.
No, he ain't gonna run one just to run.
I got it.
No. He can coach. I ain't worried about that. He can coach. And he got a pretty good defensive coordinator too. So I'm not too concerned about that. He's gonna go with the strength of the roster when it comes to the defense. But he's a defensive guy, so I'm not too worried about the defense playing well. I'm just worried about the trench play, because if they do, I think we need another DT. I think we're missing one more DT. I think Philip Jones decided to go into the portal to go to Boston College. That one stung a bit. Yeah.
What's a successful season for North Carolina A&T next year?
For me or for the fan base? Those are two separate questions.
You can give me both.
For the fan base, they're going to expect them to win 7-8 games, man. Because we were one game out of winning the conference last year. We beat Garden-Webb, we're in the FCS playoffs. I know the Big South is different. I know that. That's why I said the fan base.
Y'all was supposed to win that conference because y'all came in. You know how y'all came in? It's ours. And Gardner-Webb. We beat Gardner-Webb the year before.
We lost them. No, we didn't. We lost the year before against Gardner-Webb. Let me be clear. We lost the year before against Gardner-Webb.
No, we're saying we did.
Y'all did. We did not. The same guy that ran on us the year before ran on us again this year.
Yeah.
So that's the. There weren't too many running backs that was able to run on us, but Stephen Gaither's cousin definitely ran on us that day. But then I didn't feel as bad because he ran on them other cats the following week in the FCS playoffs too. So I was like, all right, well, those are the breaks.
I think when you guys went down
thinking
there,
4 to 6 wins, give and take for me.
Okay.
Yep. So
Okay.
ODB said 5 to
Ooh.
6 wins
Yeah.
for A&T. He also said O-line is probably the strongest unit on the team.
Yeah.
And Troy came in and also echoed that, says, as you say, as Dave says, I'm concerned about the interior D-line. Need more bodies, 2 or 3 more bodies and bigger. So.
And then me and Mike says the curse of Sam Washington is going to be on North Carolina A&T. A&T is going back to the pre-Rod Broadway days. North Carolina A&T messed up.
That ain't gonna happen.
Nah,
I'm not.
I feel like that's a little extreme. That's a little extreme.
Let's have a conversation. Let's have a conversation about that for a second. And I'm going to tell you an example of why leadership matters.
Okay.
When we had that losing streak and lost them 27 straight games, you know one thing that was happening during that same time frame? We had interim chancellors. It was between Chancellor Rennick and Chancellor Martin. Woo. So we didn't have no leadership.
Yeah.
Nobody was paying attention to the athletics.
Yeah.
Things were happening within the program. So when you have things like that, those are the things that can happen. Ooh. As soon as Martin showed up, he started cleaning that thing up immediately. Made Earl the AD, and Earl might end up becoming the best AD we've ever had. He can write his check anywhere he wants to go.
True. Facts.
He can write his check anywhere he wants to go.
Facts.
Like, so, you know, he won national championships in bowling. He had a top 5 track program, placed second in the country.
Yeah, you stole our track coach, and you stole my homeboy Terrence Trammell. You know, you're supposed to come to Hampton. You talking about pissed. And then it's the wild part. Hampton offered him $50,000 more. So we're trying to figure out, why would you go over there?
Look, man, what can I say?
$50,000 more. You still go to A&T.
We building over here. We building over here in the track program. You know what I'm saying? This was a rebuilding year. We still had.
Y'all did
won all those awards in the CAA.
Yeah, we did too. We did too. Yeah.
I'll say this though. I think MEAG Mike was a little bit extreme.
But he's always extreme, man.
The pre-broad. But I do feel like y'all did my boy Sam Washington a little bit wrong.
There were
Sam Washington.
But
there were 2 moments when I knew he was in trouble.
But I understand the timing of it in a certain extent. Yeah. So to a certain extent. So I'm not gonna harp on that too long. But I will say I want to know what Jeff feels about this bet you got between banks. As far as who gonna win most CAA games next year between Morgan State and A&T.
I stand by what I said though. Morgan State got an easier CAA schedule than us, and we only doing like opponents. So it's only gonna be Townsend and Richmond.
Yeah, like opponents. Yeah,
it's only like opponents because we only play Townsend and Richmond. They get to play Maine. Like they get the easier ones, man. Like they
get easy.
If they lose to Maine, we're gonna have to. If they lose to Maine, we got to have a discussion.
No. Morgan State's not really built for that, so I'm still go with A&T, man. So.
Okay.
No. I'm just being honest. You know, I mean, this is CAA solidarity, but I would say A&T has been recruiting towards the CAA. Morgan State don't. So
that's true. That's very valid point.
I will say this though, I respect the hell out of Damon Wilson, bro.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I respect the hell out of Damon Wilson, and I think they're closer to winning that MEAC than folks realize.
Yeah, agree.
I think they're closer.
I know you don't want to say that, but I
no. It's funny. I ran into the cornerbacks coach of Morgan State.
Yeah.
In Baltimore, and we just had a conversation about it. They're ahead of schedule. It's just simple as that.
No, they're ahead of schedule. And if you go to the university, just walk around that campus. Oh, they booming over there.
Oh, their campus is nice.
Oh,
the campus is nice.
Yeah,
my daughter had a tour. Love the campus.
I'm gonna ask. Oh, my bad, Pooh. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say Banks talked about it when we were talking about what I joked about the affirmative action stuff. He was talked about how Morgan State was already building towards, getting more students in, building more for the different programs and stuff. Banks almost had me committing. I was almost there.
Well, you
Nah,
know they
they
won the
do that.
lawsuit. They won the lawsuit, so they're getting a medical school. Medical school's
That's
on the way.
huge.
They
That's huge.
also have land that they've purchased.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's a lot of area around Baltimore, around that area. They just been buying up. So I wish Howard would have did that, but Howard's now is landlocked. So
Yeah. Now, I'm
That's
gonna
the
ask
worst
you
state
the
to be in
same
right now.
facts.
yeah.
I'm gonna ask you, Jeff, the same thing I asked Dave.
Mhm.
Next year, what's a successful season for Hampton?
Okay. All right. So first 3 games: Grambling State, Norfolk State, Howard. I mean, Norfolk State and Howard are teams that we should beat. I'm unsure about Grambling. I'm not really a huge Hugh Jackson fan. I don't really think he can coach, but it is on a neutral site. So I would say we probably win those first 3.
beat them.
I think so too, man. I mean, I think
y'all
he's
can beat 'em.
overrated.
I
That's
think y'all could beat them.
that dude
And
got all.
the SWAC would explode if y'all
Yeah.
go down to New Jersey and beat them boys.
All I'm gonna
I-
say is I'm about 50 miles east of Grambling.
Yeah.
If y'all beat Grambling,
Yeah.
I might feel the implosion over here
Yeah.
from exit 81, dog.
I'm going to the game. I'll be out there. I'm heading to New Jersey
If
for it. I'm
y'all
driving down for
if
it.
y'all beat Grambling,
I mean,
Hugo
it's
had
like
to stand up for the rest of the season because he ain't gonna be able to sit down.
no. The
That
whole
seat
thing
gonna be too hot.
exactly. It's like I'm looking at like if you think about the last times we played Grambling, we played them in the Meadowlands 42-7. We beat them then. I think after that it was like 43-13. So I mean, we're not really worried about Grambling. What we're really worried about are those first 3 games is Howard, because they've been bringing in all those 3-star. I know.
That's
No.
facts, bro.
That's facts. Let me tell you why we're afraid. Let me tell you. If we lose to Howard, it's like people will go missing. Hampton folk will go missing. You don't lose to Howard, but I promise you, Howard, that's the only game they get up for us. We could have the best program in the CAA. We would struggle against them. So, okay, first 3 games we'll probably win: Grambling State, Norfolk State, Howard. Then we got Richmond at Richmond. That's a loss. Campbell at Hampton. I would say, we beat them last time. If we're still riding high, I would say we're going to lose that one. So we probably will lose Richmond, Campbell, and Monmouth. And dang, we got Delaware also. Oh my! So okay, we win the first 3, we lose the next 4. Then we got A&T at home for homecoming.
Be careful.
So
Be careful.
I have to be honest. We have to win.
We lost the last time we played y'all. We owe y'all
You
one.
did. You did.
I love how y'all ran out the conference when we were supposed to have y'all for our homecoming last year, but I'm gonna let that one go.
We had.
I'm gonna let that one go.
We had to. So I'm gonna pick the win against A&T, and then we go up against Maine. We're gonna win. So that's 5. We will be 4-5. And then we got William and Mary in Hampton again. We will lose that one. And Elon at Elon, we will lose that one. So I'm looking at a 1-2. I'm looking at 5 wins, 6 losses. So 5-6. Will that be enough to keep the current regime?
That's a big improvement from last year.
It's a big improvement. I mean, I will say this though. But we probably would. And Hampton fan. I mean, it's not for me, because I don't need that coach staff jumping on me no more. So Hampton fans probably would not be happy, but it is what it is. He went 5-6. Probably stays around another year.
Ooh,
I'm looking at the schedule for A&T real quick.
That is very true. Hampton played Grambling. Hampton made the playoffs and won the bowl game, 2 Black national championships. Very true.
Oh wow, that's a pretty good stat right there.
That is a hell of a stat right there.
That is a hell of a stat.
Hey, Trey said you were doing good until you got to us, A&T.
That's a fact.
I mean, you got to understand though. It's like
y'all need to win. I get that, but
we're gonna have 4 straight beatdowns. Like Monmouth put 54 on us like last time we played them. Delaware put, I think, 34 on us last time we played. Campbell, we beat them at Campbell with their 3rd string quarterback, and we barely won that. And Richmond hung up 41 on us on a homecoming. So those are 4 losses, legitimate. So we gotta beat A&T. So if we lose to A&T, then you only got Maine, William & Mary, and Elon, and only one of those is winnable. So we have to.
Like looking at A&T's schedule, we start the season against UAB.
Oof.
All right. So do I think we're gonna beat UAB? Probably not. Right.
Y'all beat East Carolina before.
We beat now, yeah, and we got a coach who knows. We got a coach who's the defensive coordinator when Howard beat UNLV.
Oh,
so we have a coaching staff that knows how to strategize and get this thing done.
Was that the coaching staff or was that whatchamacallit, the head coach? I mean,
London?
Yeah,
we're gonna find out now, aren't we?
We are. Because we really wanted London too, man. But I mean, yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. So we play Central, and I know everybody thinks that Central's gonna beat up on A&T. That ain't gonna happen, guys. Order's gonna be restored in Greensboro.
They didn't graduate a lot of people, man. And Rashard's still there.
I know. And the thing is, I went back and looked at the box score. Mm-hmm. We ran that was the least times we ran the ball all season. We turned the ball over in the red zone.
That's a box score, though, brother.
I know. I was at the game, man. I saw what I saw.
I'm just messing with you, dog.
I know. I saw what I saw. But the bottom line is, I think the game. I think we can beat those guys in Greensboro. I'm not too worried. It's been a while since they beat us in Greensboro, and I don't think it's going to happen this year. Elon, we've beaten Elon the last 3 times we played them, regardless if it was an Elon or A&T. We've been playing Elon for a long time. We've had a home and home with them for a long time, even before we got to the CAA. So we could potentially beat those guys because we're very familiar with them. Norfolk State, we're gonna wipe the floor at them. The key's gonna be Villanova, Delaware, and Richmond. Woo! We gotta steal one of those. 2 out of those 3 games are at home. We gotta
best
steal
one.
We gotta
I would say
one of those games.
Best bet is Richmond.
Yeah, we gotta steal one of those. Preferably one of them at home. Right? Delaware's the only one that's on the road. Villanova's at home.
That was
Richmond's
hard.
at home.
That's hard. Yeah.
Then we got Hampton's homecoming. I think we're going to beat Hampton. I know he ain't going to say that, but I think we're going to beat Hampton. Then we got G-Ho against Townsend. Townsend's got a brand new head coach.
Y'all can beat them easy.
Yeah, but that brand new head coach was a national champion in Division II. So you never know, right?
Yeah.
But it's going to be a good game. I will say that.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to this game up in Rhode Island. Rhode Island's expected to be really good this year in the CAA, so that'll be an interesting one. And then we close out at home against Campbell. So, I could see 5 wins out of that.
Yeah.
If we somehow break our way and get 7 wins, we could end up in the playoffs. 7 wins is probably enough to make the playoffs in that conference.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
So,
yeah. And with good seating, too. Yeah. But Ant, hold on. Ant, listen. You got to let those folks in Louisiana know, especially Grambling. It's like Hampton – I know Hampton is like some sort of like, oh, they don't do nothing up there. We play football. And I think Grambling fans don't even think about the previous records that we've had against them.
They don't.
Yeah, it's
I can tell you, I know somebody the other day who was talking who said, ain't no way we losing to Hampton. I don't care what done happened in the past. Ain't no way we losing to Hampton.
Like,
I'm just telling you, basically, I think they've kind of looked at Hampton over the past, few years, and kind of think that, that's the Hampton that they're getting. You know what I mean? Whenever they come first game of the year. Hey, right or wrong, or
no, I agree. I agree.
I think that's the mindset of a lot of people around.
If Hampton beat those guys, if Hampton beats Grambling in New Jersey, y'all will not hear the end of it from me and HBCU Nightly about the SWAC and how they schedule. You're not going to hear the end of it out of me. I'm going to tell y'all right now. If y'all will not hear that, because I know what the SWAC folks are thinking. They're thinking, oh, Hampton, they can't win no games. Just like there's already some SWAC folks that has A&T only winning 2 games. They're saying we ain't gonna win 2 games. So like, I'm telling y'all something,
foolish,
man.
Though. That is foolish.
The last time we lost to a SWAC school, I was a student at A&T. I graduated in 2004. That's the last time we lost to a SWAC.
Our last SWAC
loss
was Alcorn State.
It was Alcorn.
That was
Alcorn State.
Alcorn 2000. Alcorn State 2006 for us. Sheesh.
Don't ask the last time Jackson State beat us because that hasn't happened.
Never. We've never lost to Jackson State.
We never lost to Jackson State. I just want to let y'all know that. They played them twice when I was a student too. Beat them both times in Jackson and in Greensboro.
Catch Self Graham. You know what? Hold on. Let me say this about Hugh Jackson. I mean, look who he hired for his previous. He hired Devontae Kincaid as his quarterbacks coach. You know, he couldn't figure out the quarterback situation last year. He brought in that kid from UCLA. And then he had Cal Vez kid, and then the one who left and went to Northeastern. So, I mean, he's supposed to be a quarterback guru. He had Carson Palmer. You know, he's supposed to be a quarterback guy. Couldn't figure it out. So,
Well,
I mean,
some say the best quarterback on the roster last year is at his rival Southern right now.
Yeah. Oh, God, the new kid from New York.
Noah Bolden. Yeah. So I mean, a lot of people around here feel like he ran off the best quarterback we had.
Yeah. So,
and I know they got Miles Crowley in, but
no, I just think like from what I saw of his program last year, just a lot of speed and a lot of folks who kind of didn't feel like they didn't know what they were doing. So at least at Hampton, you can see the identity. You can see that those 2 6'8" linemen, those big old guards, and a running game. That's what we do.
I say this. He made a good hire in the offseason, getting Tony Hole as his offensive coordinator. I'll give you credit on that.
Yeah.
I'll give him credit for that.
Yeah.
But I gotta see him let Tony actually have control of that offense.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And in the spring game, it looked like that was the case.
Yeah.
But that's a spring game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I need to actually see that offense look different in the fall than it did last year for me to actually believe that that's Tony's offense.
Yeah.
Dave, you and your people is not gonna get us jumped on. ODB said y'all better start talking about the Mecca. And
I wasn't talking about Howard. You need to leave.
Look.
Talking about Howard.
I lived across the street from Howard. I mean, look.
Oh, you know, because Jackson Statesman called themselves the Mecca as of late, which is the most hilarious thing imaginable.
The Mecca for what? Mecca? For what? Mississippi? No. Listen, Howard, let me say this thing about Howard. I mean, I'll give him credit, let me put out my disclaimer. Before Bison for Life comes for me, my whole family went to Howard. I'm the only one who didn't go. So Howard, for years, their football program had a track house in the north end zone, like above the end zone. Like Howard neglected that program for decades. And we're going to talk about Howard. You know, they're doing better now, but we're talking about Howard. So,
I wasn't talking about Howard.
Yeah,
I know what they were trying to say. What I was talking about.
Hey, Howard. I think they meant the mega, like the Mega Evers. You know what I mean, like the airport in Jackson.
Really?
I think that's what they were trying to say.
He
really?
spelled it wrong. No, he said
really.
Medgar,
just because you can put an extra E on everything, don't make it okay. Y'all know that, right?
Jackson, stop it. Y'all only got Deion Sanders only made y'all popular. Wasn't nobody thinking about y'all. I'm just keeping it honest.
That was the show, ladies and gentlemen.
Y'all want to talk about affirmative action before we shut this show down, man? Because I don't want to close on that note.
Really? Jack? No, I'm dead. Let me stop. Go ahead, man.
That's why I'm not drinking.
Oh man,
the views and opinions expressed
in
the Golden Boot podcast are those of the speaker and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of the Golden Boot podcast as a whole.
They really be coming out their mouth for real.
Man.
All right.
Man.
Hey,
how many wins you got, man? How many wins you got for Jackson? Let's go then. How many wins you got for Jackson this year?
Not doing it. I'm not doing it.
I'm not asking you. I'm asking Jeff. I'm not asking you.
Okay, no. I would say this. They're gonna lose a game. I mean, I don't have the schedule in front of me. I would say they're probably gonna lose to Southern. You know,
they play Southern in non-conference week 2.
Nah. If they play them late,
they can
still lose.
It's week 2, but it's week 3, right?
And they got FAMU first game, correct?
They got South Carolina State, then FAMU, And
Okay.
then
I'll be at that game.
Okay, I would say this: FAMU probably will probably have the best shot because they still bring in a lot of good talent. I'm not really a fan of TC Taylor. I mean, I've seen him before and coaching in other programs. I mean, yeah, he was handpicked, but that's Deion's guy. So nobody knows if he could really do what he do.
He was going to be the head coach before they got Deion. So I think he was,
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, yeah. So
We'll see.
We'll see.
But, hey, I do want to say this, Joe. We got to bring y'all back before the Grambling game and after the Grambling game, fam. We got to, brother.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely, man.
To.
So,
who he said? Jeff said they want to come on before the Grambling game.
No,
they want yard talk to be on the show with them.
Nah.
Okay, we can make that happen.
We gotta get y'all talking off the strength.
No, I mean no. We cool though. See, that's the thing. I don't want to turn it. I don't want to.
Oh no.
That's my sister over. No. I'm saying that's my sister though. But
it's all love. She done been on the show before. She was our first guest, so we can bring her back on. Let her, defend her grand fam, and then y'all can ride for Hampton. It sounds good for me, man.
We love Grambling. Maybe after. Yeah.
Hey, no, we need to do it before because
we'll bring Jeff on before. We'll bring Rick on after.
Hey, I don't know. People tend not to answer their phones and stuff in them DMs.
Yeah, but I will say this about the CAA: they are really trying to prop Hampton and A&T up, I would say, because talking to some of their members on their board, their message board, they knew that it was getting really bland over there. So, I mean, they really, so when they brought over Hampton and, A&T, they realized, okay, this is something different. It brings in a different audience. And so they're happy about it. So,
Yeah, no, it's been cool so far. Like I've been able to watch more games. I ain't got to worry about where to find the games, so I ain't complaining too much from that regard. So it's been pretty cool, man. It's I know like there's some pockets of the fan base that wish to go back to the MEAC, but that's gonna always be a thing.
Yeah.
I think if we start winning, I think that'll be forgettable. I'll be honest. Like I think if we start. I think the problem is I think a lot of folks expect us to dominate as soon as we walk in, and that isn't realistic considering how tough the conference is. I mean, it's not the same conference as the MEAC, and it's not a slight to the MEAC because I think North Carolina Central has a phenomenal football team. I think Howard's got a pretty good football team. I think Morgan State's a growing football program. Yeah, and I think in basketball they can definitely compete. Some of those teams in that conference definitely can compete. Yeah. But I think when you talk about all the sports, it's different. It's different.
It's definitely different.
It's different.
Top to bottom, from what we're seeing at the CAA, it's totally different from what we're seeing in the MEAC. And I'll just say this closing is that I feel that since we've been here, it feels that we've gotten a different audience now that are just checking. Like even the players now, when they find out that we're in the CAA, they're like, "Oh, really? Oh, I could come here now." Because, they didn't want to go to the MEAC, which for us was like, why didn't y'all want to come to us when we were in the MEAC? But now since we're here in the CAA, you guys definitely want to join. And so we're getting players that we never could have gotten. So that's been a plus, but it also goes to a deeper problem of why they didn't want to come when we were in the MEAC. So I'll leave that there.
And I know you had something before. I think you were finna say something before or ask something.
Oh no, I'm good. I don't know. I got Troy says we need to bring y'all back the week A&T play Hampton.
Oh man.
If y'all, I'm with it. If y'all with it, man, it's been a great show. Appreciate y'all.
Oh no, we definitely will because we'll definitely have a more of a idea where we're going. Because let's say if like we lose to Howard and I'm talking about we like maybe one or two games. I can't say nothing. You know what though? If we lose to Grambling, you gotta understand a lot of our fans are from New York, New Jersey anyway. They're gonna say, like, oh yeah, you lost to them down south folks, you're supposed to lose to them. That's SEC country. Whereas for the diehards who've been around the program, like, no, you don't lose to them. So yeah.
There's some teams you can't lose to, and I explained this in the past.
Yeah,
you can't, like for A&T, you can't lose to North Carolina Central. That is a sin.
We can't lose to Howard.
It's a fireable. It's a fireable offense.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. Okay, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
What's a bigger disaster loss, Howard or Grambling?
Oh, Howard.
Man, it's gotta be Howard.
Easy. And
I mean, just because of the rivalry, or because of what it means to lose to Howard.
Well, I would say it like this. Howard and Hampton has always, even in the worst times, put resources into their athletic programs. Howard has never put anything into their athletic programs. I lived across the street for Howard for 4 years. Literally, like okay, I'll just be fair. It just wasn't a nice area at the time. It's getting better now, but because they're throwing their weight around. And so it's like you did not want to lose to a program that should have been a Division III program at the time. Whereas now Howard, it's like they got a 3-star quarterback that's in. They brought in another 2-star wide receiver. They brought in linemen, running backs. And so now we're kind of like, oh no, we can't lose here, because even if we do lose, that means that a program like Hampton that really puts money into its program lost to another program that kind of, every now and then puts money into their program. So it's a definitely fireable offense. And I would say this too. Coach Rose lost to Howard multiple times and still wasn't let go. And the reason why Coach Rose, Don Rose, wasn't let go is because that was Dr. Harvey's guy. He was like, nah, I need to keep my man, because Dr. Harvey was Jerry Jones. He would come into the meetings after the game and want to dictate what the offense and defense was doing. Crazy, but that's for another time.
Yeah. Do y'all want to touch this affirmative action real quick, or
go ahead, Dave?
Because Dave, I know you had some thoughts on
it. I've never been a fan of quotas, but at the same time, we know how this is going to go down, right? We know that the league level, like the Ivy League programs, are just not gonna. They're not gonna accept this. Mm-hmm. Now they don't have a reason to. Mm-hmm. And I think for a lot of the other institutions, I don't think it's going to help what they think they're going to help. You see more DEI officers getting laid off, getting closed, and things of that sort as it is prior to this ruling. Mm-hmm. I think that folks need to not be blinded by it, because I think some folks are saying, "Oh, maybe they'll bring the athletes back to HBCUs." It's not going to do that because the money ain't coming.
No,
it's like so it's not that isn't going to happen. I think it will increase the enrollment at the HBCUs.
Yeah,
but I think it's going to ultimately benefit like the HBCU, like the smaller ones, because A&T, like how people talk about Atlanta, like don't come to Atlanta. Atlanta's already full. There's some HBCUs that are kind of already close to their capacity.
Yeah,
a lot of them already are.
A&T
them dorms.
They're not going to do that.
Straight.
Yeah, they ain't doing that. They ain't doing that. No.
Like I think folks got to realize, man, A&T houses over 50% of their student body.
Oh, here we go. Go ahead and put that plug in, man.
No. I mean, because the thing is, like, all right,
I know.
Like 40%. Like the national average is 40%. We house a higher percentage of students than UNC Chapel Hill. We house a higher percentage of students than North Carolina State. Higher than UNCG. Higher than ECU. Yeah. We're the highest in the UNC system. Mm-hmm. If we go to the state asking for more dorms, they're going to ask us why. Mm-hmm. Y'all already house better than all other institutions. Why do we should give you more money for dorms?
Yeah, and they're noticing it too.
Like they notice. Oh, they notice. UNCG is nervous now.
Yeah, no, they're nervous. Like what the Tennessee State president, when she got questioned by the senator, he was upset about it. So
we talked about
I think ultimately what we have to do, I mean, hopefully all our HBCUs aren't landlocked, but the ones that aren't, they need to start buying these properties and start building these dorms. Mm-hmm.
Hey, boy, listen, ODB, listen. You gotta.
Oh, South Carolina State really needs some enrollment, though.
They do. I remember, when I was a kid, man. South Carolina State was booming.
It was booming. It was booming. Yeah,
mm-hmm. And they got some nice dorms over in South Carolina State too. While you friend? Oh,
Hilarious.
Uh,
Jeff, you want
Tough,
to
man.
put
It ain't
in
class
on
for
that?
me, but you know.
oh yeah. Well, I would just say I'll just be quick. I feel that this is a golden opportunity for HBCUs, but at the same time, for Clarence Thomas, to make a decision based on when he been greatly benefited from affirmative action is disgusting. But I mean, whatever, to each his own. That's what he did. But I do feel that it is a definite opportunity for our institutions to capitalize on some of these kids. Do I think a lot of these kids who are not going into these Ivy League programs will come back to HBCUs? Maybe. If they don't get into Harvard, they will definitely try to get into Michigan or USC, one of those programs. So I just feel that it is hopefully our institutions are doing everything to receive these young minds that are coming in. And Hampton's at 39% increase for the fall. So I guess we're ahead of schedule.
Yeah.
So you mentioned Clarence Thomas. So I'm going to give a quick plug.
Oh, okay.
Joel Anderson, who's a phenomenal reporter, he has this podcast that he did. It's a 4-part series called Slow Burn on Clarence Thomas.
The NPR one, right?
No, it's on Slate. It's on Slate.
Okay. Yeah.
I just finished it. before this show started.
Yeah.
I highly recommend. It's about 4 hours total. So just do one a day or whatever. Get it done in 4 days or whatever. About an hour a piece.
Yeah.
I highly recommend to listen to it, so you get to understand like how this guy went from pro-black to what the hell we just saw last week.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm gonna end it on this. Clarence Thomas won't never ever reverse the Loving Supreme Court case. I'm gonna just leave it.
Yep.
Yep. Man, that's a good one, man.
Oh, me at Mike. Lord help. Listen, I'm not.
What do you say?
Jesus. Yo, you gotta respond to that, bro.
No, bro. We're not.
No, chill.
We're not doing that, bro.
None.
We're not doing that, bro. No,
Man. All right. I'm not gonna respond.
Yeah, let's not do it. Come on, man.
Nah, I'm good. I'm good.
Go ahead and do your little disclaimer and then close the show, man. Just disclaimer, close the show and walk out.
Hey, here we go. For real though.
I'm gonna leave it alone. Yeah.
Dave, tell the people where they can find you, man.
You can find me on Twitter at ChampD1012. Follow us at Panther Nation PC. We're the largest independent show that covers the Carolina Panthers on YouTube. We go live. HBCU Nightly's back this week on Twitter Spaces, so check me out there. And I've joined Spill, and I still have some invites. Hit me up if you have an iPhone, black on. So, I'm Champ D there as well. So just hit me up. Fun times, man. This was a good show. Really great show.
Hey, Jeff, holla at the people.
All right. You can find me on Twitter at Jeffrey Unknown. That's JEFFRUY_unknown. And you can also find me at the HU Pirateship. We're on Spotify, SoundCloud, YouTube, all of them. So come check me and Big Reek out. I know he's recuperating, but that's that's my brother. So that's one half of the duo. Check me out there. Hey, you got to put my Twitter handle in there next time we do this.
Yeah, definitely. I got you. Got you covered. We're gonna get that. What's good? Doc Holiday over at HBCU.
Oh, I love Doc, man.
All right.
Shout out to Doc, man.
And you got something before we get up out of here?
Nah, man. I just want to say appreciate y'all fellas for coming through. Can't wait to do it again, especially before or after the Graham Hampton game. Whichever one, you know what I'm saying? Whichever one is cool with me.
Yeah.
But we just gotta do it again, man. Appreciate y'all for coming, fellas. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. The chat was live tonight, man. As always, appreciate y'all for tuning in, and we'll see y'all on Thursday, man.
Yeah, little programming note. Thursday, July 6th, we will have Tennessee State, Alcorn State, Bama State. We'll have our brother Blue from the Zach from the Blue Bloods to be with us. We'll have G from Swacking the Food covering Alcorn, and we'll have the two gentlemen from Alabama State. The wild card, they'll be joining us. Then next Monday, Coach B and ONG Strike Zone, they'll be joining us, and we'll have Mr. Carlos Brown from the Carlos Brown Show covering Southern. and we'll have them on, and then we'll go from there. We'll let y'all know from then on. But that's all we got, man. Like always, we'll be back, and like that, we out. This show was presented by BetOnline.ag.
Bring me my money.